Hello and welcome. Welcome back to my lounge room with my beautiful dogs jumping around. Today we're actually going to explore no new movements. We've already learnt the entire set. So what we're going to do is, how do we deepen our understanding of Tai Chi? There's a thing called the Essential Tai Chi Principles. These principles are what really separates, I think, Tai Chi from dancing or other forms of movement. And these principles, if you Google, Tai Chi essential principles, you might come up with the 6 essential principles, or you might come up with the 10 essential principles. So how many essential principles are there? It really depends on what books you read. So the principles that I'll talk about today that we'll start to apply in our movement there's a beautiful one which is about slow, continuous flowing movement. So as we're doing our Tai Chi, one of the classic images is if you watch the water in a river move, when it goes around the corner, around the bend in the river, the water doesn't stop, turn and then move, but it continues slowly, continuously around the bends of the river. So we keep that image in mind as we're doing our Tai Chi. So when we're doing our movements, it's like from the very first movement all the way through to the very last movement, in fact, is one slow, continuous movement. We, of course, break them into, artificially separate the movement into different forms, and then we break those down again. But that's really just for the purpose of learning. Our experience of Tai Chi it should be one slow, continuous movement, whatever form we're doing. Another lovely image that might resonate more deeply is if you've ever watched bamboo move in the breeze. So the bamboo will, respond to the wind, and it doesn't stop and turn and come back, but there's a continuity about the bamboo moving, and then it sways back the other way and it sways from side to side. So as we're going through our movements, either be like the bamboo in the breeze or be like the water in the river. So there's some of the images to keep in mind. Another principle that we'll explore is what actually leads the chi or the energy through our body. According to the sort of Chinese medical construct, or there's a thing called yi, which is yi, leads the chi. The chi is qi. So what is the yi? And again, if you Google this, there's so many descriptions of yi. Some people say yi is mind, or some people say yi is intention. I really resonate with the yi being intention. So the intention of the movement actually is what moves the chi or the energy. So again, it's just it's a construct. So we'll put this into the body to experience it for ourselves. And if that doesn't resonate, that's fine, just throw it away. So please remember, anything we talk about in Tai Chi, if it doesn't fit or feel right for you, just throw it away. All I do is invite you to explore different ideas. So let's begin our warm-ups. Well done. Harmonizing yin and yang and running through the entire set, focusing on that slow, smooth, continuous movement really changes the experience in the body. Or when we're focusing on the yi leading the chi. And again, there are lots of other principles that we'll explore over time, but you can see how we could just learn these Tai Chi movements and not learn any other forms for the rest of our life and still have more and more depth. That's what's really kept me anchored in Tai Chi for over 25 years now, that boredom doesn't arise. We've experienced, as we're practicing, it's the same movements, but depending on what we place in our mind to focus on, we have a very different experience in the body. So at our next session, we'll explore some more principles, but I'd like to thank you so much for your time and energy for playing Tai Chi with me today. As we begin, let's end with our Tai Chi salute. Thank you, everybody. Stay well. So, thinking about our warm-up exercise, just focusing, standing tall. Feel the feet connected with the earth. Our feet are parallel and underneath the hips. If it's comfortable, having our toes facing straight ahead, so the hips, the knees and the ankles are all going the same direction. We have our arms just resting beside us. And we'll start with our neck exercise. We'll start at the neck and methodically go through every major joint of our body, doing 2 exercises per major joint. So the first one for the neck is looking down at the fingers and allowing the arms to float up to about shoulder height or whatever's comfortable for us. We turn the hands. And when I sink my elbows, the hands come towards my chest or my chin. I tuck my chin in. Turn the palms away and push forward. And then remembering it's a neck exercise, as the arms float down, I watch the fingers coming down to rest on the thighs. We do about 3 of each. So let's try that again. Arms floating up. Lovely. Hands in towards the chest or the chin, tucking the chin in, then we lengthen the upper spine. Turn. Push the hands forward. Very gently, allowing gravity to lower the hands down. And 3rd time. Noticing when we breathe in and noticing when we breathe out. Noticing your own in-breath and your own out-breath. Terrific. The second one for the neck begins in the same way. Both arms float up. I'll be a mirror, so you turn your left hand over and let the right hand float down to just push down next to my hip. These fingertips are about shoulder height or whatever's comfortable, and the elbow is down. So I turn my neck, I turn the arm, just about 70% of my capacity. And I move the hand and the neck back to the center. The top palm faces down, the bottom palm turns up, and I swap my hands over. Excellent. So now turning the neck, turning the arms, just about 70% of our capacity, and moving back. Good. Top palm down, bottom palm up, and swap our hands on. This time, if it feels right, we can go to maybe 80% of our capacity as we turn the neck. And moving back. Good. One palm lower, one palm rise. And last one. Turn. And wonderful. Okay, let the hands float down beside the legs and we just roll the shoulders. These are the next ones for our shoulders, which is the next major joint. So it's like I draw circles on my legs. So we want to relax the elbows, just very small rotations of the shoulders forward. Always doing what feels right for us, working in our comfort zone. And then very small rolls backwards. You Again, I love the description of just drawing circles on our thighs. It encourages our shoulders to do the movement instead of our elbows. Well done. The next one for our shoulders is we step a little wider. Maybe our feet are under our shoulders now. And this one's called gathering chi, or just the shoulder exercise. So imagine there's a big ball in front and we go around the outside of the ball. When the hands are on top of the ball, then we sink into our legs and we push the ball down. Good. And let's try that again. Palms up. So gathering the breath in as the arms rise up to shoulder height, whatever's comfortable, and sinking into the legs. We keep our spine upright. Let the hands float down. Lovely. Let's try that again. Arms rise up and lowering down. Terrific. And relax, have a little shake. Okay, we'll bring our feet back underneath our hips. So we've worked our neck, we've worked our shoulders. So the next major joint is the spine. So the next two are for the spine. Having your left hand on top, right hand underneath as though you're holding a ball. What we're going to do is imagine a piece of string between my nose and belly. And if my piece of string turns, that is just a very small turn of the spine, and the arms will follow the turn. You can see my lovely white zip, that if I keep my nose and navel connected, the zip remains straight. But if I actually twist and move my neck more, then my zip will also twist. So imagine we've got a zip in front of us. So left hand on top, right hand underneath. We keep the hips soft, the knees soft, sinking down into the earth. I turn the nose and the navel, very small turn, and then I roll the ball over. Now I've got the right hand on top, so I turn my nose and navel towards the right, and the arms simply follow the turn of the spine. Wonderful. Roll our ball over. Left hand on top. Top hand's about heart height and bottom hand is just below the belly button. Elbow is down. Turning our nose and navel. And roll the ball. Good. And turn the nose and navel. So the hips are not moving. The kneecaps are not moving. Roll our ball. And turn the nose and navel. And last one either side, turn. And keeping the palms opposite as we roll the ball. Good. And back to the center. Great, have a rest. The next one for the spine is imagine the top of the spine is pulling upwards, but the base of the spine is pulling downwards. So we want the spine to lengthen in both directions. How do we do that? We're still holding our ball. So if your left hand's on top, we let the bottom hand come up the inside and the top hand down the outside. We roll the hand up, and if it's comfortable, the top palm up towards the ceiling and the bottom palm presses down. We always keep a lovely bend in our elbow. We come back and we hold the ball. If that doesn't feel right in your shoulders, don't do it. Just go to where it's comfortable for you. Bottom hand up, top hand down. It's like that martial arts block. One hand up, one hand down. Lengthening the spine up and down. Good. Changing over. So bottom hand up. Rotate the palm away. Lovely spiraling up. Pushing down. And change. We hold the ball in between. And then the bottom hand comes up the inside, rotates up and down. Good. Try to keep the knees soft even when the arms are extended or the arms are stretched. The arms are never fully extended. We always keep our joints soft. Soft knees, soft elbows, stretching and change. Final one. Stretching up and stretching down. Wonderful. And have a rest. Well done. So from the spine, we move to the hips. The next two are for our hips. The first one is for the flexors and extensors of our hip. So the muscles at the front and the back of the hip. We're going to be standing on one leg. So if you feel a little bit wobbly, I encourage you to grab a chair and just place the chair beside you like I've got it. Then if I need to hold on to the chair, it's there for me. If I don't need the chair, that's okay as well. So we start with our feet, again, hip, knees and ankles facing the same direction. Allowing the arms to float up about shoulder height. As they lower down, shift the weight onto the right leg and we move the left foot forward, touch the heel. Good. And then the foot comes back to the center and I stretch the foot behind, resting on the ball of the foot as the arms float up. Coming back to the center and consciously shifting our weight. Other side. So if you need to hold on, please do. Heel, it's hip width apart. It increases our base of support, improves the balance. Ball of the foot behind, the spine is upright. Feel the hip stretch. Good. And consciously shift our weight over. The leg I'm standing on, the knees slightly bent. Touch the heel of the hand, heel of the foot. Ball of the foot, arms float up. Well done. You might notice we're a little better balanced on one side of the body than the other. Good to pay attention to. Heel and ball of the foot. Consciously shifting our weight. Heel and ball of the foot. Final one. Consciously shifting the weight. Here. If you want more stretch, pull your toes up. And ball of the foot. If you want more stretch, push your heel down further. It doesn't touch the ground, but just feels that stretch. Well done. The next one for the hip is for the muscles on the outside and the inside of the hip joint. So what we need to do is we keep our feet parallel to activate those muscles. So the movement is simply step to the side. All of my weight's on my stabilizing foot. This leg is empty, there's no weight. But the feet are parallel. They come back to the center and consciously shift the weight. All of the weight's on my stabilizing leg, so my other leg goes out, touches on the ball. Fabulous. When we add our arms, we have one hand forward, just below shoulder height. Turn that palm away and the other hand pushes against, as though you're pushing against a wall, and the opposite leg goes out as a lovely diagonal stretch. And then I bring the hand and the foot back to my center. Other side, hand forward, palms away, lower than the shoulder. Other hand underneath, opposite leg goes out. Wonderful, and coming back. So it's a lovely diagonal stretch, keeping our spine upright and change. Good. Try to encourage the feet to be parallel. Then we do work the muscles on the outside and the inside of our hips. And change, noticing when we breathe in and noticing when we breathe out. Let's do one more either side, and I'd like to really show you the arms a little clearer. So from the side, they might look like that, or some people find both fingers pointing forward is more comfortable. So whatever feels right, hand up or fingers pointing forward, but they don't go beyond our shoulders. We come back and we push to the side, so either fingers up or fingers forward, whatever works for you. Okay, well done. Moving down from our hips into the knees. So we have very loose fists in our Tai Chi. So with our hands, you can actually see through your fingers. They're very loose. And what we do is we shift our weight. We step forward. Let's step forward with our left foot. Heel, it's about hip width apart. Ball of the foot down. And then I bend the front knee, but only so I can still see my front toe. That's how I'll weight shift. And the opposite hand pushes forward and the other hand pulls back. Good. Weight back and foot back. Changing over. Touch the heel. Nice and wide step. Not long, but wide. Toes down. As I bend the front knee, that's how I weight shift, pushing one hand forward, the other hand back. If I glance down, I can always see my front toe. Excellent. Weight back, hand back, foot back. And change. Heel, toes straight ahead, then all of my joints are going the same direction. Weight forward, back heel is down, spine is upright. Weight back and foot back. And change. Heel, toe. We end up with about 70% of our weight forward, but there's still that 30% of weight in the back foot. And let's do one more either side. Heel, toe. Weight forward, hand forward. Weight back. Hand and foot back. Final one. Heel, toe. Shifting our weight. And moving back. Fabulous. All right, the next one for the knee, very similar, but it could either be a kick or just a knee bend. So again, if we've got a chair or something we might need to hold on to, please do so. And what we do is shift our weight into one leg. We're going to bend one knee and then we'll just tap down on the ground first. So my weight's back, but I've just tapped the toe on the ground, opposite hand forward. I bend the knee and bring it back. Changing over, I bend the knee and I tap on the ground, opposite hand forward. And I bend the knee, moving back. Again, we must remember to keep the spine upright, keep our head upright, bending our knee and stretching. You're welcome to kick off the ground or tap on the ground, bending, coming back, whatever's safe for you to do, whatever feels right, bending and extending. Again, you might notice one side of your body has better balance than the other. Hopefully, Tai Chi will improve your balance over our sessions together. One, last one. Bending and stretching and coming back. Okay, our final major joint is our ankle. So putting all of the weight into one foot and we just tap the heel and the ball of the foot. So it's flexion, extension of our ankle. Most people will look at the foot that's moving, but what's really good is to keep the head upright, bring your awareness into your ankle. It helps to develop, it's called proprioception, knowing where your body is in space. Okay, changing over, so all of the weight on one side, and again, if you need to hold on to a chair for balance, please do. And heel, toe, keeping our head upright, But awareness into our ankle. Great. Nice, slow, conscious movements of the feet. Well done. Okay, the next movement is again all of the weights on the stabilizing foot, and I simply tapped on the little toe, tap on the big toe. Or some people find it more comfortable to tap on the outside of the heel, the inside of the ball of the foot. So it's just moving the foot side to side in whatever way feels right for you. Good. Again, there's no weight on the foot that's moving. All of my weight's on my stabilizing leg. Consciously shifting weight. And if I need to hold on for balance, please do. Or even sit down, that's fine as well. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Good. Our last major joint actually are our hands. So we simply extend the fingers and relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Open. And another hand exercise is we have one thumb up and the index finger points to the thumb. And then what we can do is the other thumb goes up and we put the other thumb down and point the index finger. So it's one thumb, one index finger, one thumb, one index finger. So it's alternating. We might find that we look down and we've got two thumbs up. Now the reason for that is the thumb and the index finger is very wide, closely in the brain. So this is helping to differentiate those connections. So it's a bit of fun because this one took me about a year to get my head around. Well done. Another warm-up exercise is our fingers actually touch fingertips to fingertips. What we do is roll the thumbs around each other. So my grandma would have called this twiddling your thumbs, rolling the thumbs one direction. And then we roll the thumbs back another direction. Good. Touch the thumbs together gently. And now roll your index fingers around each other. Well done. And then roll them back the other way. Good. Touch the index finger and move to the third fingers. Rolling the third fingers around. And back the other way. Relax the shoulders, sink the elbows. And now touch the third finger. Fourth finger, rolling the thumb, rolling the fourth finger, around one way and back the other. And then little fingers, rolling the little fingers around and back the other way. Wonderful. And shaking out. It's always good to remember to rub our memory bumps. So when we interlace our hands, we place that on our head. Wherever our thumb touches on our head, on the back of our head, is like an indentation. According to Chinese medicine, that's your gallbladder 20 point, which helps to stimulate your memory or clear the mind. So just drawing small circles very lightly, one direction and back the other way, really helps to improve our memory according to traditional Chinese medicine. If not, it's actually always lovely to have a bit of a head massage. If that doesn't feel comfortable with the shoulders, the other way is you can relax the shoulders and the elbows and just use your index fingers to rub that same point. That also works really well. Rightio. you can't see my feet, but I don't think that's a problem. So again, just checking into the mind. So it's always good. We know these movements quite well now, so we do need to give the mind something to hold on to as we're going through it. So it's that slow, smooth, continuous movement. Wonderful focus. Let's begin from this moment onwards, separating our left foot. It's one continuous movement. Right. Holding our ball. 3 breaths in and out. No gaps or spaces between the movements. Allowing them to flow just like our breath. Last one. Go into our cloud hands. Left hand up. Keeping the movements flowing, stepping in, changing our hands, keep flowing, rounding off the edges, those spaces between movements. Lovely. That's number 2. Wonderful. Don't stop here, but then back to our center for 1 breath in. And now harmonizing yin and yang down into the left hip. Don't stop there, but then bring the hands across to your right hip. Good. Don't stop, up in front of your left shoulder. Back swing to swing around. Fingers to your left. Don't stop. Opening up Dantian. Turning those toes. Moving back. For a breath in. Hands down into the other hip. Your right, I guess. And don't stop there. Float. Keep that beautiful flow. Back swing to swing forward, to point to the right, weight right, opening up those left toes. And back. Open. Wonderful. Don't stop there. Cloud hands back to the right. Stepping out right. Right hand in front of the heart. Stepping in. Stop. Swap. And turn. Wonderful. Stepping out. Keeping the movements flowing. Step. Stop. Swap. Lovely. This is number 3. Flowing. Coming back to the center for 3 breaths in and out. Keep flowing with the breath. Right. Keep flowing. Again, it's a continuous movement as we push the hands forward. The palms are still opposite, those lagong opposite. And we come back, hands beside the leg. Feet together. And that's the end of movement 1. All right. It is quite lovely to contemplate it as one continuous movement. But just to give you a different experience in the body, what I want us to focus on this time is gentle resistance. Imagine like you're in a big body of water and every time you move, there's a gentle resistance, or maybe it's really dense air, or someone once described it as like being in honey. So whatever the gentle resistance image works for you. But again, we'll go through the whole set And I want you to notice how it feels. Don't worry about slow, smooth, continuous. Completely drop that concept. Just focusing on gentle resistance. It's not just the resistance of the arm, it's the whole body. So even for my leg to move out to the side, I'm moving against resistance. Okay, so it's, you know, all around us, the resistance. Okay, let's give it a whirl. So we'll go through the whole set, and that's the essential principle that we'll put in our mind. Again, even as I'm standing here, we are standing against gravity. Gravity wants you to lie on the ground and not move. So feel that gentle resistance even standing against gravity. Okay, so body upright. Focus. And let's begin feeling that gentle resistance as we adjust. As the arms rise, as a gentle resistance. Good. Sinking the elbow, feeling that gentle resistance. As I open, the whole body has resistance. Close. Feeling that resistance. And third one. Those waving hands in the clouds, even moving the body, moving the hands, moving the legs as though you're in water. Dense air. Stepping in, changing our hands. Keep flowing. Rounding off the edges. Those spaces between movements. Lovely. Number 2. Feel the resistance of the hands rising, falling. Lovely. This is our last one. As we turn back to the corner we began and back to our center. Feeling the resistance all around as we go. Harmonizing yin and yang. Feel that resistance of the arms, of the dantian, of the whole body. To the left, sweeping across to the right. Up in front of the left shoulders. And back swing to shift the weight to your left. Feel the resistance as I open up and block. Excellent. And even the resistance as I come back square. And down into the right hip. Resistance for the hands as I move through water across to the right side. No, left side. Oh, I don't know. That side. Sorry. Okay. This must be pointing to your right side. Weight right. Feel that resistance as we open up and block. Excellent. Coming back. Open. Cloud hands back to your right. Feeling that lovely resistance. Through the legs, through the torso, through the arms, and right down to the fingertips. Even the head has resistance. That's number 2. Number 3, finishing in the corner we began, and back to our center. 3 breaths in and out. Feeling that resistance all around. Number 2. And last one. And then feel that resistance as the hands move through space. Forward, lower, down. Resistance as a foot coming in. Just standing a moment, noticing. Wonderful. And relax. And focus. And weight in the right. That's actually the intention of bringing the leg out. Adjusting our weight. How do we bring the arms up? It's the intention. It's not the muscles. Again, it's the intention of the breath in and out. It's not the power of the muscle. It's the mind. Okay. Cloud hands to your left. The intention of moving, that's what moves us. Good. Stepping in. The intention of changing the hands. The yi, leading the chi. Stepping out. Stop. Very subtle, but seeing the intention just before we move. One. Step. Stop. Turn. In. Stop. And turn. Right back to our center. Open. Harmonizing yin and yang. Hands down into your left hip. Again, just seeing that intention, not the brute muscle force. Like the mind wants to bring the hands up and the arms float up. And weight to the left. So I can open up my right toes. Good. And back. Good. Hands down into your right hip. That's it. And oh. Yeah, that's the intention of the arms coming up. And weight into the right, fingers pointing right. Open up those left toes, just 45. Good. Cloud hands back to the right. So, right hand up, stepping out. Stepping in. Yi, leading the chi. That's number 2. That's number 3. Good. Back to our center. 3 breaths in and out. Pass the ball forward. Close. Bringing our feet together and then standing. Wonderful. Very subtle, that one, isn't it? We do need to start our cool downs. So this is hips, knees and ankles, having a little massage. Not that we've been using our muscles, but we have been using our yi to lead the chi. Okay. Stretching down into the earth, stretching the fingers and release. Stretching out. Relax. And it is a breath in and out. Good. A gathering of the chi. We can go back to checking into those elbows if we like, into the shoulders and elbows. Relaxing the shoulders. How do we relax the shoulders? By sinking our elbows. Good. That looks really good. I don't see any elbows up at all. Happy about that. And sinking down. Okay, and shaking out. Come and have a little sit. So again, sitting in a nice balanced posture. We're still in our Tai Chi. So what is a balanced posture? Even weight on the right and the left side of the buttocks. Even weight on the feet. Even pressure wherever the hands sit on the right and the left side. You can close the eyes or gaze at the floor. Let's just become aware of the breath. We've been quite focused today. One on a very external thing about the position of the elbows, about the body structure, if you like, the shoulders and elbows. And then one was a much more subtle focus on the mind, the intention to move. And just checking into the breath, being with the breath as it comes in. As it goes out, like the waves of the ocean arise and pass. There's no effort in the waves, they just come and go, just like our breath. When you're finished, just opening our eyes if they're closed, having a stretch, changing our posture. Well done. It's great fun to run through the whole set from the very beginning all the way to the end, just shifting our awareness or our focus onto different points. It is something that we can continue to do throughout our Tai Chi journey. We might not always get the concept about the full moving into the empty or the empty moving into the full. But first of all, we must plant the seed in the mind and understand it sort of intellectually, and then eventually we put it into the body. So today you might have experienced some of it in the body, or you might have just understood the concept, and that's quite okay as well. But it's something that I encourage you to keep coming back and revisiting during your Tai Chi journey. And the same applies with the sinking the Chi to Dantian. That initially just bringing that focus down to your center of gravity or your Dantian. We might notice, our mind wanders and then we bring it back to the Dantian. The movements we know really well, like our open and close, they might be quite good or quite easy to sink the Qi down to our Dantian. But the more complex movements like harmonizing yin and yang might be a little more challenging to keep applying that sinking the Qi to Dantian. But with more practice, that too will become much easier. So thank you so much for your time and energy, for coming and playing Tai Chi with me and my beautiful dogs in the lounge room. As we begin, let's end with our Tai Chi salute. Thank you, everybody. Be well.